Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee is free. You know what? And one reason this is big news because it's Spencer Lee special, but on another level, it's just a decision that's made in your program, and not that it's ho-hum, but you would like it to be business as usual. But that's not what the media or fans or even probably opponents, they don't want to leave it lay like that. So that's why we're talking about it. It's why our marketing and promotions has done some work with it. And the good thing is that he represents himself very well. He represents our program very well. So when you have a young athlete like him that represents himself like that, he's okay with it. I mean, he's steady. He knows that the number one thing is getting ready for his performance. So that's where we're at, and he'll be on the mat Friday night.
What went into the decision?
Factor in inserting?
I think this is an ongoing process that is one of our probably goals is to put our best team on the mat. In order to do that, when there's an option of a red shirt, we have to make sure that it's the best thing for the individual as well. It's a no-brainer that's the best thing for the team. And now we're to the point where we've sorted it out to the point where, you know, both parties think it's the best thing for the individual. Spencer, his family, and our program. So that's what goes into it. At the beginning of the year, we were missing, Marinelli. We were missing maybe a couple other ingredients, and I think he was one of those ingredients that we had our eyes on this process for a while, meaning this isn't something that you just decided a couple days ago. We ramped up the conversations or whatever, but this has been an ongoing communication.
Do you think he's able to, what was holding you back, I guess, from
you'd always, especially his situation with his rehab, that's probably makes his a little bit more unique where you're holding off. He wasn't even wrestling live until October. So you're just seeing how he's going to look and how he feels and how he's going forward. So, that's the only probably thing that was a little bit different. There's really no hesitation except for you want to make sure you do it right. And there's no rush in this sort of thing. We had some big dual meets before Christmas with Illinois and Rutgers. Midlands maybe could have used his team points, but you don't make decisions based on one or two dual meets, or is he going to be able to score an extra X points at the Midlands tournament. Make sure that you see him in competition. Make sure that take your time making this decision. So you're having multiple conversations along the way.
How good can he be for you this year? What's his?
I think we're going to answer that as we go. I'm not a predictor. I don't make predictions. I know I love him in a lot more ways than one. He's a great ambassador for our program already. He's been here 3 months. But he's also a unique competitor. He's a unique talent, good student, good kid, represents our program the way we want our young guys to represent our program. He reminds me of me socially, not in wrestling. He would have whipped my tail when I was his age. But socially, it's almost like the things that he does, sometimes people look at him and kind of scoff at him, like he might be a little bit overboard. And this guy here likes that. And that doesn't mean that I pass judgment on guys that aren't like that, because I know that there's a lot of different personalities and things that make people tick. That's part of our job, is to deal with that. But I know he's not going to be in any trouble.
Was there anything specific at the Midlands that he showed you for you guys to make this decision now as opposed to in the future?
No, this is, like I said, this has been an ongoing process. After the Midlands match, we talked, and it was basically, addressing the loss, addressing some other things that go along with that, and being able to move forward. And hey, where are we at with you being on the mat? We're still thinking to go. And when I say still, I'm not saying that Michigan State was a target date, but we've been pointing to this and we've had conversations. This is an important decision, so it's not like you get to the Midlands and it hasn't been talked about, and then all of a sudden it's a speedy conversation. That seems like it's kind of knee-jerk reaction. That's not it at all. So what did we see? We saw what we've seen in the practice room and what we've seen in his career and what we saw at the UNI Open, and just continue that.
Did this conversation begin while you were recruiting him, that he could compete as a true
Yeah,
freshman?
absolutely. I mean, he's a unique talent, and that conversation was with Warner as well. And we got a 41-pounder that's right there. He's the best guy in the room as far as if you look at the Midlands results at 41. So there's options. We got a heavyweight that we might not need to wrestle every time out, just because of his past. So we got a freshman heavyweight. So this isn't something that, and even if this Lee wasn't a topic right now, we'd still have that in our mind. You just wouldn't be asking about it. That would be more behind the scenes. Last year it was the same thing with Marinelli. Just wasn't maybe as prevalent because the things I talked about last year, where that Gunther was doing a good job.
For those of us who haven't seen Lee wrestle, what does he do well on the mat?
He wrestles in all positions and he can score from all positions, and that's what we got to have him doing. And in that match, with Oregon State, he didn't get his takedowns, and then when he's riding, the match is, going his way, and he got a little bit out of position and chased the position too hard, got out of position, and that's what happens. And that's where you got to be kind of calm and cool, and we just go to work. We go to work like we go with anybody else, addressing those things.
Does where he can help you in like the NCAA team race? How big of a factor is that in terms of what you want to do?
Well, you make the decision first for the individual, and if it's right, then it's got to be best for the team too. And it might be best for an individual to go for one reason or another, but does it make sense for the team? Who's the best guy for the team? And right now that's clear.
What about mentally? You've had success resting or preserving the redshirt report. It's the first time you've really done this. Do you think he's obviously you think he's mentally ready?
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. They've been, addressed, and so mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. So,
How does this decision compare to guys like Derek St. John, Brandon Sorensen, Kemmer, guys you have kept in redshirt for their freshman year?
Here's the thing. It's an ongoing conversation starting when you recruit him. He gets to campus. There's some things that are happening, and he's the best guy that it looks like in the room, and then all of a sudden Stickley goes down to 25, and he does okay in the early part of the season, and then you're waiting to see how that happens, and you're watching Lee in the room, and then as 3 or 4 months go by, and then you're looking back on it, and you're having conversations as you go. That's why you make the decision. I don't think it's like coming up to a moment where, how did he look at Midlands? Boom, we're going to go. And the team races for him, whatever. It's just like we're kind of talking in circles right now, because it's not maybe, like I said, in a nutshell, I would say 2 sentences. One, this is a big deal because he's a unique talent. But 2, on one level, it's like you want it to be normal because, he's that good. He's that good, too. It doesn't matter if he's a true freshman or not. He can represent.
How does this impact maybe the mentality of the rest of the team? Somebody like him that can provide a spark in competition? How does that affect everybody else?
Terry and Ryan Morningstar have been talking about that. It definitely gives us a boost. If it's right for him individually and it's something that we want to do, there's another reason, and that's because of his energy with the team. He supports his teammates respond to him. I just saw the other day him talking to Alex Marinelli, and those are good things because they help each other, and it's not just Alex Marinelli, but it's everybody. He's a team player, and he didn't come here to win individual titles. He came here to impact the team as well at a high level. So that selflessness, unselfishness, whatever you want to call it, is, another plus for sure.